Good morning, everyone. This is Tim Wilmot speaking from Wizard Systems. Thanks for joining me today for this short presentation to inform you more about the key capabilities of GoldMine and maybe introduce you to some things that you may not know about. And today we're going to focus on Sage 50 integration. Now, this presentation will be approximately 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so, depending on how many questions we get. So this is just an overview of our Sage integration. It's not meant to be an in-depth session, and my company, Wizard Systems, would be more than happy in organizing a more in-depth session with you if you're interested. Now, on the call today, we've got a few different people using all different types of versions of GoldMine. What we're mentioning today is relevant to all recent versions of GoldMine, just to make that clear. Now, just some housekeeping. The audio part of this presentation is one way only. If you've got any questions, I'd encourage you to think of any questions as we go along there. Please type those into the question box on your meeting control panel, and I'll cover those at the end of the session. I'll just give out your first name, by the way, just to protect your identity, and we'll do our best to answer your question. Also, this session is being recorded. After the presentation, you'll receive an automatic email from our system with a link to the recording, which you can share, and we'll most likely put it up on YouTube as well. Okay, so let's get started then. Just a very brief mention about our company. I know there are some people on the call that are new to us. We are a major supplier of GoldMine worldwide. We've been doing a long time, well over a couple of decades now. And we're dedicated to GoldMine and some specially selected add-on products, of which Gold50 is one of many that we supply and support and promote. And we don't only just supply the software, we do actively assist with any installation, implementation, setup help, training on the GoldMine system and add-ons, and ongoing support as well. So you're not on your own in this. We don't just supply the software, very much in it with you to ensure that you get the most out of anything that we supply to you. Now today, as I say, we're focusing on Sage 50 integration. Many of you on this session today, some weeks ago, you saw us present the GM Plus View tab as a kind of way of seeing live information in GoldMine coming from another application, say like Sage 50. But this morning, we're going to show you an even higher level of integration with our Gold50 solution. So I'd now like to hand you over to my colleague, Graham Edwards. Graham's at a different location to me, so we're just going to swap screens here, which you'll see briefly. And Graham will go through the basics of Gold50, what it does. As I said at the beginning, this is just an overview of what Gold50 does. And if you'd like a more detailed presentation of, in your scenario, how you might use this Sage 50 integration, please contact me after the call and we'll be more than happy in organizing a follow-up demonstration for you. So as I said, I'd now like to hand you over to Graham. Just bear with me a second, and here we go. Over to you, Graham.
Good morning. Good morning. You should be seeing my screen now, and what we're seeing here is the Gold50 main menu, which is fully integrated with GoldMine. You can see that it's a tab and it's a plugin within GoldMine. The main information that you will see are the customer details. That's what comes up first of all, and it synchronizes with GoldMine contacts. So if I was to, for example, change a contact to Ken Towsey, it automatically synchronizes to that particular contact. I'll go back to my call. The information that you're seeing here is a direct view into Sage, and it's completely dynamic. It's live information that's actually in Sage at the moment, and it will actually show you any differences between your contact data in Sage and GoldMine, and it will highlight those in red if there are any differences. So you can see here that the city in Sage is actually Hebburn, but if we were to go to GoldMine, the city is actually Newcastle. So one of the things that's very easy with Gold50 is that you can keep those fields up to date in either direction. So if I was to click on that, the red arrow will point away from Sage. Therefore, if I was to click on Update, it would update GoldMine, or I could do it the other way and actually update Sage with the information in GoldMine. What I'll do is I'll just update GoldMine so you can actually see the change. So now that's gone blue. If I was to go back to ABS Garages, you can now see that the city's changed from Newcastle to Hebburn. So it's very easy to keep the data, the basic contact data between Sage and GoldMine in check. The next tab is the credit tab, where you can see balances, and basically this information is built up. We've specifically built these figures in to make it easier to see what your customers' commitments are to yourselves. So you start off with the basic balance. We add in any invoices not posted. You get a subtotal there. Add in orders outstanding, and you eventually get a total. Now, if the total exceeds the credit limit, it'll start to go red. So you can immediately see the balance situation for your customers, and you can update that information just simply by clicking on Current, and that will actually give the very latest information. You can also look at balances and age debt analysis of for your customers. So this is completely live data directly out of Sage, and again you can update that information. The fourth tab is turnover. You can view turnover here. You can see here that although that says 2011, this is the demonstration data out of Sage. So obviously, if this was live today, it would be showing the current year, but it just so happens the financial year is 2011 in this particular case. You can also look at orders and invoices, and if you click on any of the orders, it will actually drill down, and you can actually go in and see the orders themselves directly in Sage. So that's the basic screens within the basic menu screen within Gold50. There's also a stock screen here where you can look at any of your stock details, and you get quite a lot of detail here. So for example, if I choose a stock item, you've got the sales price, the last sales price here, all the prices and the dates. You can look at quantities, so what's in stock, what's free stock, etc. You can look at your current supplier, and also this is quite useful, goods in and goods out. So this will actually give you the PO number and the quantity and price and date of where the goods when the goods came in, and also the invoice numbers for when the goods were actually shipped. So you can get you can focus in on what your products are doing. The other options here, you've got sales order processing. So if you click on here, you can actually go in and create an order directly in Sage, and you just add in your product items and description and so on. And when you actually save an order, you'll see that this is one that's been done before. Gold50 will actually save the order in history within GoldMine with all the details, so including the carriage and so on and so forth. So for any customer, you've got a full audit, if you like, of all your orders that have been created. One of the other options that's really useful in Gold50, and I'll go to a contact in GoldMine. So for example, here we've got a prospect in in GoldMine that's not actually a Sage customer, and it tells you that because it says there's no account record for Sage. Now, you may have noticed that when ABS Garage was up there, the new customer icon was actually grayed out, but now it's actually live. So I can actually, using business rules which are predefined and in Gold50, I can very easily create a new customer in Sage. And I just do that by just clicking on New Customer here. It brings up the New Customer wizard. You just click Next. And as I said, based on the business rules, it will actually work out what the customer reference should be. Now, you can change that if you want, but it's essentially the business rules saying take the first 3 letters of the name and ignoring any thers and ands and ampersands and so on, and then take two digits and use the next 2 digits that are available. Then you just simply click Next. It will actually offer you the option to copy the address to the delivery address if you want, if it's the same address. Then you simply click on Next, Finish, and you get a little message there that says that customer is now created in Sage. And if I was now to refresh GoldMine, go back to Pauline Monk, you can see here that that customer is now a customer in Sage with all the data ready for any further processing. And you can do the same thing with suppliers. You can create new suppliers in exactly the same way. The only other buttons here that are this purchase order processing, which you can also do, and there is invoicing. So that's basically the sort of standard product that you get with Gold50. There are a couple of add-ons. There's a synchronization option where you can synchronize any field in Sage to any field in GoldMine, and you using the options here, you can actually tell Gold50 which fields are mapped to which, so it's very easy to bring those in. And there's also a QuoteWerks integration option where you can actually create an order in Sage or an invoice or even another quote from your QuoteWerks straight into Sage, and so that you end up with an order in Sage from QuoteWerks. It's very easy to do. So that just about concludes a very brief demonstration of the product, and I hope you agree. It's a powerful little tool to integrate your Sage data with GoldMine. I'll hand you now over back to Tim.
Thanks very much, Graham. So just to mention again, we'd encourage any questions at this stage for myself or Graham. Graham's still on the call. So just locate that question section there. It might be called messages, a message section or chat section, depending on how you're logging on to this presentation today. And I'll just read out your first name as those questions come in, and Graham and I will do our best to answer. So first question, Graham, from Lee: will Gold50 work with version 7 of GoldMine?
Yes, it will. The version 7 of GoldMine supports plugins in the same way as the premium product. So it will also work with version 6.
Okay. Next question from Joey: how does the sync module actually update GoldMine? So the sharing of contact data, I guess, there is what Joey is
right.
asking.
Okay. The sync module, that will actually run as a scheduled process within in Windows as a Windows scheduled process, and you can set it to update GoldMine. Obviously, as you know, with the scheduled process, you can set it to update at any interval you like, every 5 minutes if you like, or just once a day. And then what that will do is that will actually based on the mappings and based on which fields you want updating. It will simply retrieve the data from Sage and update user-defined fields in GoldMine based on that scheduled process.
Okay. Next question from Shannon. If I had a forecast sale in GoldMine and I create an order with Gold50, will it complete my forecast sale in GoldMine?
Yes, it will. Yes, if you've got a forecasted sale in GoldMine, Gold50 actually looks at all the forecasted sales and gives you a list of forecasted sales that may be relevant to the order you're doing. And what you do is you look at the list and say, yes, yes, the 3 widgets relates to that I'm processing the order for relates to that particular or forecasted sale. I'll tick that box, click OK, and then Gold50 will actually complete that forecasted sale and put the sales order in the result into history.
Okay.
So you don't have to do that manually.
Okay. Hopefully that answers your question there, Shannon. We've got a couple of questions now, Graham, relating to QuoteWerks. So a few of our callers, a few of our attendees have GoldMine and QuoteWerks. So first question from Philip, an SOP question. When creating a sales order, can one draw down from a quote in QuoteWerks?
Can one draw down from a quote?
So I guess I think you covered this in the presentation. You briefly mentioned it, Graham, in the presentation.
Yes. Basically, the way it works, if I understand the question correctly, with the QuoteWerks integration, Gold50 will present you with a list of all the various quotes that are actually in QuoteWerks, and that would be any open quotes, also any closed quotes. In fact, it will show you by category using the QuoteWerks type, and then you simply highlight the quote that you want to convert and save into Sage. You right-click, and then you go through a quick wizard, and it actually creates that in Sage. Obviously, it still leaves that quote in QuoteWerks. But you do have the option of actually converting that within QuoteWerks into either an invoice and an order. In other words, changing the type of quote.
Yeah, which might be important in QuoteWerks if you're doing any reporting in QuoteWerks, for example, any advanced sales forecast reporting, and you just wanted to report on your outstanding quotes, then that might be another little step. It just takes a few seconds in QuoteWerks to update the status there. So hopefully that answers your question there, Philip. Maybe related to that, question from Jerry. We have created a quote in QuoteWerks. If the quote becomes an order, will it create a sales order in Sage? And if we have some supplier info in the QuoteWerks quote, will it then create a purchase order as well to our suppliers? So sort of going on there, Graham, thinking about the process and how would we then create POs once the
yes,
good question.
Yes, that's a good question. Yes, that's one of the features of Gold50 that I didn't mention earlier on. Is there is a back-to-back processing feature where each individual sales order line you can actually create a purchase order from each of the lines, and actually it will also look at the lines and make sure that you're not creating. For example, if you've got two lines that actually need to be ordered from the same supplier, then it won't create 2 purchase orders. It will actually group those together. So what it actually does is it looks through all the item lines and works out which suppliers are related to each of those lines, and then creates the purchase orders for those. So the answer is yes, it will do that.
Okay, thanks, Graham. Hopefully that answers your question there, Jerry. Right, I don't think there's any more questions coming through here, Graham. So I'd just like to thank everyone still on the call for your attendance today. Please, we organise these GoldMine presentations every week. If you've got any other ideas about future presentations, most likely next Tuesday we'll dive back into some core functionality of GoldMine. Not sure exactly what we're going to cover. We'll be doing our mail outs invitations probably on Friday, so watch out for that. As I say, the session is being recorded, so look out for an email with a link to the recording in the next few hours or the next day or so. And if you want a more detailed presentation of Sage 50 integration or anything to do with GoldMine, please contact us. But thanks very much for your attendance today. If there's any late questions coming in, we'll answer those via email. Thanks very much again for your attendance. Bye-bye.